what a matchup it'll be Friday night here on 9. Dolphin v Bronco, both 3 from 3. Top of the table clash in front of a sellout crowd. No one. I can't even imagine, Gal, what the odds would have been to pick this match, being and the circumstances around it. It's a gift from the rugby league gods.
It sure is, and the Dolphins have been outstanding, and so have the Broncos, but I suppose the Dolphins have been more impressive their first year in the season, unable to sign a so-called marquee player, and they're 3 from 3, and they've been brilliant. And look, it's no secret, they're playing simple rugby league. Like, their completion rate on the weekend was 88%. You completed 80% in any game, you were in every single game you're playing. And that's what they've done so well. They've completed well and they've defended well. And they've had guys who can score points. The leadership of their guys, you know, the Kafusi, the Bromwich brothers have been absolutely outstanding. Gilbert at lock has been unbelievable. So they've been fantastic. And the Broncos on top of that, they've been good. I've been so impressed with the Broncos forwards. Payne Haas, Carrigan, Flegler, Kirk Capel's leadership there has been great. And them two there, Ezra Mann has been absolutely outstanding. And I've got to say, Reece Walsh, he's a better player than I thought. He really is. He's such a don. He's so fast. I thought round one when Cobbo played fullback, I thought they may have thought about keeping him there because I know he's been a fullback coming through as a youngster and he played really, really well round one. He had some moments in round one that weren't so good for him, but overall he had a really, really good game. And I thought there's a chance they might keep him at fullback. He played that well, but Walsh has come back and hasn't missed a beat and he's been really, really good.
Gus, they haven't even played their first match yet, but where could this go as a rivalry in the National Rugby League?
It's been vital. We've been campaigning for a long, long time for more than one team in Brisbane. The Broncos have campaigned to keep anyone else out because they wanted the monopoly. But now, I think competition is good for them. I think the lack of competition was actually bad for them. And I think that this is now the sort of rivalry that they want across town. I'd put another team in Brisbane. I'd give these two something to think about as well because there's plenty of room for it. But the Broncos campaigned for a long, long time, and it was wrong of our game to allow them to resist the introduction of another team into South East Queensland. The Dolphins are there now, and their worst nightmare is that Wayne Bennett is coaching them and he's got this team ready. I don't think they'll have any problem winning on Friday night. I think they'll beat Redcliffe quite convincingly, but the rivalry is the thing.
Will he throw something out there, Wayne, up against Kevy just to sort of put all the attention on the Broncos?
It could be anything. It could be anything, but I guarantee you that his press conference this week will probably have nothing to do with the game, more to do with something like global warming or coal-fired power or something or other. He will come up with something just to distract everything. Or he will declare Adam Reynolds the greatest halfback that ever played the game, should be playing for New South Wales and Australia, and then he'll send his team out there to spoil his night. So that's pretty much Wayne Bennett.
Gus, I noticed on your Twitter, Reece Walsh was getting a lot of mentions. You saw him up close and personal. Can you tell us a little about we see the electric speed. What do you like about him when you watch him play? Because, I mean, you know him probably better than any of us.
He's a genuine superstar. Genuine superstar. I mean, and I've sort of known this was coming. And you know, whilst I was disappointed for the Warriors that he left, it was certainly good for him to get back home to the Brisbane Broncos. And I saw him at our launch in Queensland up in Brisbane, just before the start of the season. And he was that excited to be back in Brisbane and playing for the Broncos. That's where all kids up there want to grow up and play for. And he's a genuine superstar, and his couple of games of fullback there have been out of this world, and he's only going to get better. I remember the day he turned up at Warriors training. I was doing a bit of consultancy work up there, and he came up for his first session, and he trained at 5'8", opposite the Warriors first grade team as they were getting ready to play. And Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was the fullback for the Warriors, and he went up to Nathan Brown and he said, put him in this week. He said, I'll play on the wing.
I haven't seen...
Yeah.
I mean,
and he did. They put him in 2 weeks later, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck went on the wing.
When he was at the Warriors and years gone by, I haven't seen this how good he is. He's like I said, he's a better player than I thought.
He's a superstar.
He's an absolute star. He is.
Will the Dolphins have Felice Kafusi? He's off to the judiciary, going for a downgrade on that late hit.
Look, I wouldn't think this is how tight the game is. I mean, he has done that the last 2 weeks straight, and now, God, he's been there just half a metre early. That's how close it is. But I can't. Look, I can't see him getting off that. The way the rules are these days, look, I'd love to see him get off. I'd love to see him play his game because I think if he plays in this game, it will be close. I do agree with Gus. I think the Broncos will be too strong. I think they might fall from the perch, the Dolphins, but I'd love to see him out there. He does sort of half pull out of it at the back end of it. He certainly does move his arm backwards. But I don't know. I really don't know.
If they show a clip of all his other tackles this year,
Oh, they've been
where he gave it to Brandon
close,
Smith, and he's given it to blokes, and everyone's been applauding him for it.
Because you know what? It wasn't a halfback.
Yeah, he was a half step too late.
Because he wasn't a halfback, Gus. We have this theory in the game that the halfback
but no chance to pull out.
Protected.
Yeah, but no chance to pull out.
Will they use the Joseph Swiley one as part of the case to try and get the downgrade?
He should not be sitting on the sideline for that. There is no way in the world he deserves to be sitting on the sideline for that. No way in the world. But they'll find a way.
Sounds like they'll be using this. To help their case. It goes from 3 to 4 weeks if he fails, so it's a fair roll of the dice too.
And if he does succeed, he gets a fine. Is that right?
Yeah, a fine. He's there Friday.
He plays this week. Yeah, that's a big gamble, but they need him. He's a leader of that team. Himself and the Bromwich boys, absolutely. You can see the impact they've had. It's been and look on the other side of the coin. Look at the Melbourne Storm. Look where they're at because they've lost guys like that. So he's an absolute leader. They need him without a doubt. I think it's probably worth the role.
You making the trip up to Brisbane for it, Cal? I'll be up there,
no, I work Thursday. I'm at the GF.
Sure you don't want to come to Queensland?
I don't want to go to Queensland, mate.